Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Astrid. I'm a psychic oracle mentor and your spiritual big sis. Welcome. If you're new here, please comment below how you found me because I'm curious. If you're not new here, I miss you. I know I've been gone. This is what I'm thinking about this video because I thought about, telling you guys where I've been the past 6 to 7 months. I thought about, telling you the story, telling you about what has transpired. But to be perfectly honest with you, I don't want to do that. I don't want to tell you guys where I've been. I don't want to go into my family drama or what's taken place, the death and rebirth that I've experienced, because it's not that I don't want to share it with you. It's just that it is a long story. And I just think that what I can do instead is share with you some of the lessons I've learned, which I'll be peppering into my content kind of going forward as I mull through the hours of video diaries that I've taken over the past 6 months and just really integrating what has taken place since like June or July of last year. It's January 3rd when I'm filming this of 2025. Happy New Year. And for this video, rather than going into the big story of what has occurred in my life and why I've been gone, I figured we can pull some cards and I can chat with you about what I feel for the collective, what spirit is channeling through me for the collective, and maybe some of my personal insights will come forward. Maybe some of my lessons that I've learned over this journey will come forward. Maybe not. But you'll be hearing bits and pieces of where I've been and what's been going on as time goes on, regardless. Okay. So that said, I want to invite you to just take a moment to ground yourself. Okay, I've got my water here and I even have a little snack. It's 8:08 p.m. right now and I had some toast earlier and I've had probably too much coffee today. But I didn't have like actual food up until my delivery came a few minutes ago. So I might be picking at that here and there. Don't mind me. I also got okay, TikTok shop. Yeah, there you can see there's not a whole lot left. It's the bubs. So they're exactly as good as people say they are. So if you want to spend $15 on half a pound of candy, I fully endorse that. Yeah. All right. So, let's get into some cards. This is a fresh, crispy deck. I got this one a few months ago, but I actually haven't used it a whole lot. So we're just going to give her a shuffle. And so you can see I've got a lot of new stuff here. Okay. I've got studio lighting. I have a new lens on my camera. I've got this big, beautiful microphone, which means also that I have like an interface and a, what's called a preamp. And like my laptop going and like there's all kinds of new stuff going on here. So as time goes on, I will be reorganizing things and you will be able to see what I am doing. But for now, whoops, we're just going to go on ahead and work with what we got anyways. This is all signs. This is timeless. Okay. We're just dipping in. We're dipping in here. Oh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? We're just right out the gate, right out the gate. The star tells us, the star asks us to look at what we are reaching for. And I associate this card with integrity a bit because, it's one thing to have a dream or an aspiration. It's another thing to go on the journey and embody the hope while actively bringing forth the vision. The star for me includes, I mean, it's an open-ended, like you got the hope. You got something bigger. But what else is there, right? What else is there? Let's see. What else is there, Spirit? What is the other part of this story? Oh, the 10 of Cups coming out in reverse. This actually came up for a collective reading a while ago. This idea that you are kind of integrating a vision of your life or a set of goals that are in accordance with what has been lost. I remember this was months ago. This energy came up of like, this was something that this being something that you're familiar with, you know, the 10 of Cups in reverse, the falling out, the loss, the misfortune, the broken family, and that you are actively moving away from, right? Which makes so much sense with the Star card coming out first. It's like, what do we need to know about where it is that we're going? Something really important that has been coming up in my reflections and in readings that I've received lately, something that seems to be in the air, is this understanding that really, and I mentioned this in a reading on TikTok as well, just the other day, really, it's not the 10 of Cups that brings joy. It is the 9 of Cups, right? It is, and that goes for any other suit. It is not the receiving. It's not the end goal. It's not the goal line, right? It's not reaching the top of the mountain. It is actually in the doing. And maybe you understand that what was lost, you know, you may never get it to exactly, you know, where your ego or your mind feels that it should be. That part of you that's, you know, had a vision of what was, you know, even when people around you maybe, and I'm thinking maybe when you were younger, even when people around you tried to make it seem like an upright 10 of Cups, right? And really you realized like, no. There's this thing about completely maybe revamping or adjusting what actually is fulfillment, what actually is the happy home or the emotional fulfillment, the emotional joy, what is that really, right? What else does collective need to know about this 10 of Cups in reverse? What is there any insight on collective's path to, I mean, what is the path? Oh, Page of Wands in reverse. Impulsivity. Something I'm hearing historically something that you're aware of now after years, I think, of acting in ways that were not maybe the most helpful or wise or thought out. Maybe we didn't always think before we acted, right? Maybe something that's coming up for you is seeing your history of impulsivity and poor decision making or acting out of emotion or acting out of haste, and all of the work that you've done in repairing that and getting to a point where you can have a clear North Star, right? You're at a point now in your life where you do have a clear North Star, right? You do know exactly where you're going and what you want, right? And so there's this like reflection going on, right? We've got Jupiter and Mars in retrograde, and Venus just entered Pisces when I'm filming this. And, you know, again, this is a timeless reading, but, you know, speaking to current energies, Venus is going to be stationing retrograde, in the coming months. And there's a lot that we're kind of reviewing right now, especially in regards to the feminine. And that is I think the anchor of the 10 of Cups, right? That feminine energy, that matriarch. And so in looking at the Page of Wands here, we see maybe a moment of what led you to having this clarity of the North Star? What created that clarity in the first place? Because mistakes are good. Mistakes, you cannot have success without failure. You can't. Okay? We have the Three of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. I wonder who you're co-creating with. At the time that you're watching this, you might be in a position where you're working on, creating that 10 of Cups upright for yourself, in the new vision with your North Star taken into account this time around, right? I wonder who you're co-creating with. Like, what is the anchor on your boat, right? What is the wind in your sails? Is it you and your partner? Is it you and your parent? Is it you and your inner child? Is it you and God, right? What, Spirit is just bringing up this question here of what is that North Star, and what is actually anchoring you in the action. Sorry, I'm getting like a vision of like a red raspberry candy, which is funny because like this candy, obviously I brought it up in the beginning of the video, but this is like something that you would have, like your grandma would have, like sitting out, that old sticky candy that's sitting in the bowl and you don't know how long it's been there, it's like one of those. Let me see here. What else do we need to know? How can collective move forward? What do we need to know about that anchor, right? Spirit is bringing up this anchor. What is the anchor? What does collective need to know about that anchor? Is there something that collective... So the Four of Swords here, and as I was setting the deck down, I did notice that the Knight of Pentacles is at the bottom. These are slow. I believe that there is a resistance in you to this. No. It's not resistance. It's not knowing how. That's what this feels like. It's a lack of familiarity. And that red candy is coming up again. And I think about like what that red candy might represent, right? Because then the image that I pulled from it is, the candy that your grandma has sitting on the living room, the coffee table, right? At her house, and you don't know how long it's been sitting there. What does that represent, right? It represents maybe the comfort of home, but also the comfort of, or maybe not comfort, maybe familiarity, maybe, why you made these poor decisions in the first place, right? Maybe maybe that wound, right? That drove you into this place where, you made the mistakes, you had the failures, and that gave you the North Star. And now, this lack of familiarity, I've got weird frequencies coming up in my ears. Maybe that lack of familiarity is, that you're feeling now of like, oh, but I have a vision and I have ambition and I do have a North Star that is very different from what maybe I know to be true from my present reality, or not my present reality, but like my lived experience, right? That's what I'm looking for. Your lived experience. And how do you sit with that? How do you sit with this, what may be uncomfortable because it is different from what you've experienced? And how do you anchor that, right? Well, how does one... this is tricky because it's not just asking you, Spirit is not just, okay, just hang with me here. Spirit is not just asking you to just take a nap, right? That's not the Four of Swords. Spirit is asking you here to sit with that image of the North Star. And that North Star, again, is something new to you. It's something that is unfamiliar. It's something that is like, it's not what you're used to. It's not what you felt before, in this human experience, in this lifetime. You haven't felt that kind of fulfillment that you can kind of feel like vibrationally, like you can feel it in the ether. You know what you want. It's right there. You can kind of taste it. But how do you sit with it and anchor it into the 3D, right? The Four of Swords doesn't ask you to do anything other than commune, right? The Four of Swords also, though, does ask you to not take the bait, right, in some context, right? So that you may be in moments, you may be finding yourself in moments of your life where taking the bait, quote unquote, seems easy. And so I'm thinking distractions, right? So this is an uncomfortable thing. How do I do it? It's distractions are something that, I mean, it is insidious. It is distractions that feel very important, but it is also, I mean, anything can come in the form of a distraction, right? How do you anchor and you know, the understanding that like it does take time, it is slow moving. And so you must treat it that way, right? The 10 of Cups is the final. And what do we have here? Scorpio. Death to what? Death to what? Let's get some insight on that. There's a resurrection that is taking place here, right? Or maybe the Four of Swords is coming in because you have experienced a death, right? And you do have, this is another four, right? You do have an abundance of something. You have an abundance of energy. You have something that you can hang on to, right? You have the luxury of saying no right now. The Death card here is asking you to embrace saying no. That's what this is, right? So that you can resurrect, so that you can become the new flesh that has that North Star in the 3D, not just like, you know, out there in the ether, not just like up above you in the sky, right? Not in your auric field, right? You are being asked pretty directly here to free yourself up and say no, but also to delegate, so that saying no, maybe if you're in a position where like you kind of can't really say no all of the time, to delegate so that saying no is a sustainable practice, right? Maybe you can hire someone to provide assistance, or maybe if, you know, there's a financial strain, maybe you can move your schedule around, move other people's schedules around, or ask them to move their schedules around. There's got to be a third way that gives you the ability to say no in a way that is sustainable and or guilt-free, if that's the issue, right? I feel like that's the issue for some of you. And, you know, if guilt is the issue, I wonder if the people that you need to say no to, you probably should have said no to a while ago, right? Maybe you should have said no to them a while ago. Okay. I can see here with the Five of Pentacles, popping out the way that it did. It's like, oh, well, there's fear of loss here, I think, for you as well. Maybe guilt and, maybe a fear of leaving others out in the cold, or you being left out in the cold, maybe a bit of an abandonment wound here, but we've got the 4 and the 5. I don't think that reserving your energy and respecting yourself by saying no damages your character truly, right? I think that what you'll find, and I'm going to actually ask about the effect that this may have on the perception of you, right? By whoever may be involved. I think that what you'll find is that there's an awakening to a spiritual authority that people did not know that you had. Okay. So, excuse me. So what I'm going to show you also, I decided just now that I'm going to show you at the end of the reading, because, you know, we're just vibing, we're just thinking, I'm going to show you at the end of the reading what my food is over here, and maybe we'll take a bite together. But I'm really in this now, man. I'm in this. This is an interesting journey, right? Happy to be tapping in with you again, collective. What, you know, with collective saying no, what maybe will be the actual outcome, like not the immediate outcome of maybe folks looking at you funny, or, you know, maybe there's some kind of reward or success that is delayed. There's this illusion of like, well, if I do this, then this happens. And it's like this kind of consequential, like repercussion energy that I'm feeling. But what is like the benefit, right? What is the true outcome of collective saying no and reserving their energy here? Got the Four of Cups. That's 3 4s. That's every suit, I believe, right? Am I good at my job? That's the 4s. What am I missing here? There's got to be one that I'm missing. I think that, the Wands. Okay, I'm like, yeah, the only thing we're missing is the 4 of Wands. It's a luxury to say no. It's a luxury to refuse because you're happy with what you have. The 4 of Cups, though, also implies a bit of a frustrated energy, right? Is this how will collective be perceived? Is this how collective is being perceived? Let's get some clarity. What is the consequence of collective saying no or reserving their energy? What is the outcome of that as far as the way that they are viewed or whatever collective's concerns may be? Can I get a message? 2 of Cups. Oh my, stop. Are we kidding right now? My friend. You know that girl. I like that girl. My friend. Hello, my friend. She's got the really tiny microphone. And I feel like she's wearing a crown sometimes. Oh my God, she's so cute. I love her. Hello, my friend. The area that I live in has a large Indian population. And she's just so funny. Anyways. You guys ever had a curry pizza? Oh, it's a thing. It's a thing where I live. It's so funny. Okay. The 2 of Cups, the 10 of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, and the 5 of Swords. I really like this. So what is the outcome, right? So what is the outcome? Well, I think that you are maybe initially being seen as someone who is a little bit too self-assured, right? But then it seems to me that maybe peace is struck, but it's also like a constant striving with a new level of support that maybe hadn't been tapped into in the past. That would have been really helpful. Would have been really helpful, you know. But regardless, it's like the striving, this 5 of Swords energy feels so much more grounded. You know, what is the anchor? I mean, 10 of Pentacles. That's a pretty solid anchor, right? And so it's like reaching that, just feel, there's the word sustainable comes to mind. There's something about this that feels not only more in reach, but the process of getting there, it looks to be much easier than what you would have thought in looking back on, like, oh, well, but this is what I know in this human experience. This is what I'm familiar with. And that's why I'm kind of like nervous to like sit down and try to anchor this. But in reality, when you honor yourself by saying no, when you honor your energy levels and start to delegate and use your authority and use your agency to say, this is what I can do and this is what I can't do. And so sorry, figure it out, you know, or like I'm going to do what I can in this arena to support you here. Right. But these are my boundaries. This is what I'm capable of right now. And this is everything that I can provide to make up for, you know, my absence or my perceived, you know, however people are perceiving your absence or however this applies. Right. In reality, what's actually happening is you, again, have a new level of respect that seems to be established here. And that third way does seem to just kind of appear, right? It's an apparition out of the clouds, right? Out of the sky. It's like, oh, wow. If only I knew that a year ago. And there does seem to be kind of I'm hearing a healing agreement with that Two of Cups. There's this, maybe some amends are made, or new understandings are made, right? And if I can get just one final card for collective, what is something that they can, well, let's do two more. So something that you can work on for right now, going forward, an area that you can improve, and an area that you're doing right. Right? What are you doing right? Okay. What can you maybe do a little bit more of? What can you take solace in? So, oh. I'll take this as a separate message. Spirit just really had to get this one out. Okay. And this is actually really beautiful. So, we've got Temperance was the first one that I saw. And then the Moon and the High Priestess. And then at the bottom, we have the Six of Swords. Now, I can't help but notice there's a dog barking in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear it because I got this fancy schmancy microphone, so you might not even be able to hear it. But my neighbor's dog is barking just crazy. And I just, I feel like, what song am I hearing right now? Howling at the moon. Okay. It's going to be revealed. It's going to be revealed in time, baby. It's going to be revealed in time. And Spirit is saying, when it comes, don't question it. Whatever this is, I don't know. I think you've been operating under illusion for a long time. And something tells me that you've known it. Maybe the people around you who are being so judgmental or maybe so demanding, maybe they don't know it. Maybe they don't have that beautiful vision that you have of, hey, everything is everything and it's all in divine timing. And I pay attention to the stars and I talk to God frequently, and I actually know that everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be all right. You just got to pay attention and be patient, right? Regulate yourself. Spirit wants you to know that the illusion does seem to be dissolving here, that there's some still there with the affirmation of the dogs barking in the background. Like it is a little bit longer, but it's right around the bend. That's what I'm hearing this from here. So let's get back to it. What can collective improve on? What is something that collective can improve on at this time? You done fucked yourself, baby. You did it to yourself. Well. It's the Queen of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. What happens when we give too much? I recently experienced autistic shutdown. I don't know if you know, but I am on the spectrum. I've been touched by an angel, touched by the tism. Okay. And I experienced what I can only describe as like autistic shutdown. I don't know if that's actually a term, but boy, I'm going to make it a term because that's what it felt like. I literally powered down. And, that is because, right? So I can relate to this. That is because I was doing too much of this. But the thing is, one of the things that we misconstrue, I think, frequently with the Queen of Pentacles is that she's actually receiving. And I think one of those things that she might be receiving, and this depends on, what you believe about the card, what you feel about the card, and, your studies in the card, but maybe what she's receiving has to do with that star, right? Maybe what she's receiving is the vision and the ability or the resource to actually give it roots, right? To fertilize it, right? The resource to help it flourish, right? So I think that what we're finding here is that, in terms of what can we improve on, it goes with the general theme of the reading, which is protecting your energy more, but it also goes with, hey, it also says, hey, because you are used to this pattern of behavior where you take care of people or you spread yourself thin or you do these things, and maybe you feel taken for granted. Maybe this is a cycle for you. I don't know. you forget that life is happening for you, and you get stuck in this Eight of Pentacles thing, or this Eight of Swords thing, and that is your own doing, baby. And this is where I big sis a little bit. Stop. You're wasting your time. Okay? Get out of that Eight of Swords. It is your own doing. You can get out, right? And then the Knight of Pentacles coming out, as I say that, I can't help but notice it came out earlier. That is, I want you to give yourself grace with this, because it does take time to create new neural pathways, new neurosynapses. I want you to be gentle with yourself. I want you to baby yourself. I want you to extend, that Queen of Pentacles, she's gone already, but that you give to others must be returned. This is the season for that. Okay. That which you give to others. So thank you, Spirit, for that. What is collective doing right? What is collective doing right now? Let's see. I want to... 10 of Wands. Well, boy, that's interesting. It's not for nothing, right? It's not for nothing, right? The 10 of Wands. What are you doing right? I mean, this feels deeply practical, right? What are you doing right? This has purpose behind it. What are you doing right? You're not wrong on your path. You may have naysayers. Everybody has an opinion. You know what else everybody has? You know the saying. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has thoughts. I had a reading with a psychic that I love recently. And you know what she told me? For a situation in my own life, she said, people who wash their hands cannot open their mouths. And I said, ooh, you right. So with the 10 of Wands being what you're doing right, I want you to think about, like, why? What is your why? Why did you start doing it in the first place? My God, you have reason, you have purpose. This isn't for nothing. Let's get a little bit more. Okay, I've got the Devil at the bottom of the deck though. Ooh, buddy. What are you doing right? The Devil that maybe this has to do, I'm going to pull another card, but maybe this also has to do with like your awareness of the Devil, right? The 10 of Wands with the Devil at the bottom of the deck as an answer to the question of what are you doing right? Well, breaking habits and cycles and patterns that could be deeply ancestral, right? That could be deeply karmic. What are you doing right? What are you doing right? This honestly feels so karmic, like your ancestors would thank you for this work, right? The ties that you have, the bonds that you've broken, the shackles that you have broken or that you are working on breaking, right? The Knight of Pentacles coming out again. Can't help but notice the bonds that you are breaking. The world, when I split the deck, I mean, are we kidding here? It's not just you that has felt those bonds. It is your entire lineage. It's sections of your bloodline, right? It's people that came before you that are directly connected to you, right? The heartbreak that has carried on through generations. What are you doing right? You're carrying literally the weight of your entire lineage and ancestry on your shoulders. Let's not be dramatic, but that's what it seems like to me, baby. Let's get a little bit more. What is collective doing right? Justice in reverse. Yeah. Why do we get so many kind of challenging cards in response to this question? Well, because this was a challenging situation, right? Whatever this is. You have created something in your shouldering this wound and taking it by the reins and grabbing those shackles and saying, oh, buddy, these are old. These are old and I couldn't see them before, right? And I'm thinking back to that Page of Wands and its reversal that came in the beginning. I didn't see these before when I was making these decisions. I didn't see these chains, these shackles that have been on my family for years and on my bloodline for generations. I didn't see them. So you've created something to yap about. You got something worth yapping over, okay? So you can go ahead and get yourself a cup of coffee and you sit down and you can turn on your camera, or you can, you can get your little phone out. I like to do video diaries on my photo booth on my laptop, right? You sit down, you get real comfortable and you start yapping. You build your own little yap castle, and all who want to join you in Yapaville can come and they can sit with you while you yap, okay? But you have a story to tell, okay? And this is so interesting. So I was scrolling, shocker, and this woman came on my feed and I had never seen her before, and she gave a message that was so profound about this idea that injustice has kind of been a plague for some folks, and that maybe embracing the concept that deservingness doesn't really exist, right? That the idea of deservingness is actually an illusion, right? That everything kind of just is, right? And it really challenges that saying of like everything is everything. It really challenges us spiritually if we know that everything just is. How does it feel when someone says that justice is kind of a man-made construct, or that deservingness is not? I mean, that's an illusion, right? There was something else that came with that, and it was so interesting. And like I don't really apply myself to much in terms of like solid beliefs. I really like to be challenged, and I really like to think about things, and whether or not I agree with them, I don't know. I figure that out. But it seems to me that justice has plagued you, right? Or injustice has plagued you. The pursuit of justice has plagued you. So I wonder if in all of your yapping that you're going to be doing, right, in this story that you have to tell, that something that you can reflect on in that time, something that you can process, is how this journey or what this journey has taught you about your relationship to justice. Okay. Ooh, and then we have success. Yeah, you deserve it. I think that the more that you talk about this, the more that you tell your story, the more you will truly see and be able to integrate how well you've done. And it doesn't have to do with, if you're yapping and someone else is listening and they're saying, wow, good job. It doesn't have to do with that necessarily. It more so has to do with you seeing yourself as a whole body and being, and the experiences that you've had and the body that has created for you, right? The experiences that you have had in this life have shaped you and created outcomes and created storylines that have molded and, neuro pathways and and you are a product of all of these things. And you can't really, at least for whoever I'm talking to here, you can't really see how divinely loved you are, I think, until you really start to process some of the things that you've experienced here, right? And I think as well, there is an emotional and spiritual level up that comes with this processing, right? There is an upgrade right on the horizon here. There's a mastery with the King of Cups, and then the Knight of Cups. When I split the deck, you're able to extend it forward, right? You're able to extend it forward. This is beautiful. Thank you so much, collective, and thank you for Spirit. Thank you to Spirit for your messages. Thank you so much. So I want to just remind you guys of how much I love you and how much I adore you. And thank you so much for your patience in my absence. I know that this has been a long road for Astrid, and I'm just so happy you're here. And I'm going to show you what I was eating. It's salt and pepper tofu. Let's take a bite. Let's see. I'm going to get a good bite for you here. Focus. There we go. I'm gonna put that right back on. Hang on. Oh, I hope this comes out all right. I've never done content like this before. This is so good. That's gonna be for another video. Bye for now.